Sup? KT and Terry here again. So 92 Nissan Terrano Turbo, and today we're going to be swapping out the belts, all three of them. I thought I may as well do all of them since the AC is squealing a lot, so you got to get all the other ones off as well, so I may as well change the whole lot of them. So even though there's three belts, these are the two that you're going to be getting. This is the AC belt. If you're in Kiwiland, I got these from super cheap, and then this here's the alternator and power steering. Looking from above, here we've got our power steering belt here, and then here's our alternator, that's our alternator belt, and then right at the bottom there's our AC belt down here. So all of them run off the crankshaft down in the middle there. Only two come up to the fan, and we're going to loosen them all and replace them. Getting to the AC belt, which is right at the bottom, we can take this mud flap off and get in through the side. Mine's already ripped, but you've got these little plastic tabs, and I've got one more to get off here. You can push them out through the other side, is what I did. So I'm just pushing at the back and it pops out. And this is the belt that's causing me trouble at the moment, right here. So that'll be easier to get to now. Okay, to loosen these belts, I'm going to start off up here with the power steering. And that's a 14mm there, and undo these ones. And then also on this side, on the alternator, we've got a 14 here on the back, and also just underneath a 14 down there as well. So these two belts are on the first two notches on the crankshaft, so without taking these two off, we can't get the AC off. And also for better access, I'm going to take off the protection cover underneath here. It's a reasonably straightforward job. And these are all 10mm. And under here, we're right at the crankshaft here, and right at the AC belt right here. So it's going to be way easier to maneuver these belts around. And down here, it's this pulley here that needs to be loosened. And to loosen that is, it's on the top. Let's go underneath and see if we can see it from the side better. Yep, so here's the AC, and this is what needs to be loosened, and that's actually a 12, this one. And this will then loosen our pulley here and loosen off this third belt. So let's get started taking off the front two. We can see the crankshaft here, the front two here. Power steering, alternator, and then our AC there. Here's a visual I have. So that's the crankshaft, one belt, two belt, three belts. I'm also going to just give a mark on the metal here. So when we put it back together, we'll try and see if we can get it to the same place. And we'll see how we go getting it back together. And then you got down here as well, the bottom bolt. That'll help swivel this whole thing. one. Off at the crankshaft down below. And then for this bit, you can put it behind the fan there. Give that fan a turn. Getting it all behind the fan as you turn it. There we go. One. Okay, now to loosen the alternator. So the trick I did there on my breaker bar is, because it wasn't suitable to turn the bolt down there for my socket to fit on it, the handle just kept getting in the way. So my wee trick was just take off the socket, spin it around and see if it'll fit on a different angle. And also this breaker bar moves up and down the handle, real handy. Number two. Right, now for the AC, we'll loosen this one. So this is actually a 12mm. Alright, to try and get to the bolt that's on the AC pulley, I'm just moving the alternator back across this way, and hopefully that will open up and expose that bolt for us to deal with. Alright, how's that set up? Huh. Make any size you need. Okay. So I'm undoing the inside of the pulley to loosen this to help it lower down. Awesome. And lowering that, we have to undo this one a wee bit more. Alright, this one doesn't go over the fan, just comes straight out the bottom. Yahoo! All three out. And we're just going to measure them all up together with the new ones. Let's make sure they're all pretty much the same size. Look at that. It does not look like the right size. Maybe it doesn't matter, maybe just tighten it more. Really? I don't know about this. Okay, those ones there, that's about, I guess about right. Completely different numbers to what I've got. This does not fill me with confidence. Whatever, I'll just do it way tight. How does that sound? That means the marks that I've put on before won't actually matter. These are the ones they gave me, these are the ones I'm going to put on. Alright, let's get this all put back together. Okay, first I'm putting the smaller of the three on. The wee teeth bits go on the inside, and that helps grip onto the metal. And I'm going to go around the crankshaft first. Now this one's a bit tighter because of the teeth. So I'm going to send this one even further down, get this pulley really loose. There we go. So I give that a check, just make sure it's all sitting on the correct notches. And I'm going to be giving the pulley a tighten from the top to lift this. We're going to get this pretty tight, and then I'm going to do up the bolt on the actual pulley itself. So I got my setup down and onto that bolt. And this will lift it all the way back up again. Okay, that's nice and firm there. Now I'm going to tighten up that front bolt. Okay, also remembering that this bolt in here is a 22 mil. Now I'm just tightening it so it gets the wobbles out, because it's quite slack. And then I'm going to carry on tightening the top to get a bit more firmer than this. Okay, that's really nice and firm there. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up that front bolt. Okay, the second one we want to put on is the alternator belt, and this one, next two are going in from the top. So put it in around the fan, turn it around, make sure it keeps going behind the fan. Now I want to make sure that the alternator goes on next to keep in order, because this will be on the second notch of the crankshaft and on the inner notch of the fan. Putting underneath the crankshaft. And in the second notch, the first notch of the fan. And then we're going on the inner notch of the alternator. I don't know why it's got two notches. Life is full of mysteries. Oh, that's right. We've knocked the alternator all the way this way so that we could get in to the bolt for the AC belt. And so we're going to knock this all the way back so that we can get it back into the right place. And I'm not bashing the hell out of this, I'm just giving it light taps to help work its way back. I'm going to make it real easy for myself, putting it as close as possible. There we go. That there is fed on. Now I'm going to push the alternator back across this way and do it all up. So remember, we've got two bolts to do, one on the back here and one at the bottom there as well. Alright, there it goes naturally. So I could go probably a little bit tighter than that. I'm going to do the bottom bolt up a little bit first before I do the upper one. So I don't want that one done up properly tight yet, because we still want to move it over a little bit more. And I'm going to tighten this one up too a little bit. Same on the front. Okay, third and final belt. Same as the previous one. Send it around the fan. Okay, and we are. get it down and around the crankshaft, and then around the fan. And then we'll work it around the power steering. There we go. Straightforward, that one. This here's our tightener, so we'll tighten this to where we want it to be, and then we'll tighten the nut to finish it off. So around there is where I had it before, and yep, that's pretty solid. It's feeling really good. I brought it up to the marks that we had before. So I'll leave it there. I'll tighten this part here. Alright, all put back into place. Last bolt is underneath here, so that the power steering will be fully locked in. Alright, that'll do. She's on. Right, looking good down there. Sounds nice and firm. The alternator, should be right. And then down here, nice and firm for the AC. Now there's AC that I wanted to replace to start off with, and yeah, having to take that one off meant taking off the other two, so ideal. I've replaced all 3 belts now. Awesome. Now let's start her up and see how she sounds now. Oh, that sounds awful. Something's wiggling in there. Okay, I've given this here a good tighten. Bit more of a tighten here, bit more of a tighten here. And that's made that loose sounding noise go away. So that was changing the belts in a Nissan Terrano 92, or you could call it hard body Pathfinder. Found it hard to find the information for these vehicles, so this here's a reference for myself, and if this can help anybody else out there, then fantastic, good stuff. Alright, KT and Terry out.